All right, everybody. I don't know the best way to do this, but I've recorded some places where you can find some nonfiction books. I recorded it on my iPad so I could have access to it, and so you could kind of see from your vantage point that I'm going to be talking over via my computer. So it's not going to be perfect, but this might give you some ideas of where you can find some books. Okay, the first thing that I like to go to is this Britannica right here. In Britannica, it's going to open up and you can kind of, I like to go into elementary because elementary actually includes sixth grade. And Britannica is kind of cool because it has lots of different categories. I'm going to pick biographies and I'm going to pick the letter G. So this will give us some names that you may recognize. Lou Gehrig. I pick him. And then what I think is really cool is this little play button right here. When you press play,
nicknamed the Iron Horse, Lou Gehrig was one of the most durable players in baseball.
It will actually read to you, which is kind of cool. So if you want to read one that maybe you don't know, or some words that you don't know, it will read to you. So that's kind of cool too. If you go down, you can go into like the actual animal portion. So you can look at some animals. I'm looking at other sea animals, and then you can kind of scroll, and there's a whole list of different animals that you can go through. So this is Britannica School Elementary, and elementary goes into sixth grade. So that's why I use the elementary. Another place that you can find some cool things are in Clever. So you go down to Clever. Here's one. Tumble books that you might know. Make sure you pick nonfiction, because remember, we're nonfiction or informational. That's what this is all about. Stuff is a little bit harder. I don't know if I would go here, but I wanted to show it to you anyways. It is a place to find some books, but this is more like high school from what I can tell. So that's Teen Book Cloud. Is there anything else I wanted to say about this? I don't think so. I went back, if I remember correctly, and I went back and I picked Clever again because Clever has a whole bunch of different stuff. And I am going to show you now. Let's see what I go to now. I'm trying to remember. I think I go to, what do I pick here? Oh, Mac and Via. And Mac and Via was working a little bit slowly. So what I decided, you'll see here, is I can kind of show you Mac and Via. For whatever reason, it was going super slow. So I'm going to click up here because I have a tab still open from when I was practicing. And here are some different categories in Mac and Via. So you'll notice you can click categories here. And you remember, you're picking nonfiction, so stuff that's true. So I picked history, and you can see that there's this little sports spinning wheel of death. For some reason, it's not opening right now. It was opening a second ago, but you can see like history would be nonfiction, right? Or sports and recreation. Those are all things that are going to be giving you facts. Remember, this is nonfiction. All right. The next one I wanted to show you was in 3M Cloud Library. And let me just rewind that video just a second so you can see 3M Cloud Library. It's this one right here. You open it up, and I have it set to kids, and I have it set to nonfiction. You see, here's fiction, so those are fake stories. Nonfiction are going to be informational, right? So you can see here that I'm in nonfiction, and then these little blue buttons, blue button, if you unhighlight those categories disappear. So I picked recycling and green living, and then those appear. And these are all true stories. And then what you would do is click on one and hit borrow. The last thing I wanted to show you was something called, in Clever, I believe, it's in Clever. If you go to Clever, it's something called Newsella, and that's where we read our Fortnite article. So you scroll down and you pick Newsella. Now it's going to open up here, and I was reading an article, but I wanted to show you a couple of useful things that might help. So if you click these little buttons down here, and I can't remember if I went to that first. Okay, here I can show you here. Let me move this out of the way. Don't cancel screen recording. Let's just pretend I want to read this article. This is someone who was just elected to the Senate. I'm going to click that. If you look down at the bottom here, you can actually adjust the levels. So the max level is like high school. What we're at 560 is like fourth grade. 5th grade. So you can actually read the articles based upon your reading level, which is awesome, So I just saw one here that says world's largest iceberg on a collision course with Antarctic penguin refuge. I'm going to click on that. And what I'm going to do is, it's too hard, so I'm going to go down and I'm going to press 590. You can find that right there. And then, or I guess I stay on 790. And I wanted to show you something that I thought was kind of cool. Let's see if I go back to that article. Yeah. So I go back and I adjust it. I'm going to put it at 590. Did I adjust it? Maybe not. But it will read to you. If you take 2 fingers and you drag down, you can actually have it read to you. I know you can't hear it right now. That's just because it didn't record right. But you can actually have this read to you. So if it's still kind of hard for you, right, you can drag down with those 2 fingers from the top, and you can actually have the articles read to you. Okay? So I wanted to show you a couple of different things that you could use. I really think that we have plenty of different types of reading material for nonfiction. It just takes a little bit of detective work. All right, everybody, that is a video on how to find some nonfiction